Welcome to the Work in Process podcast. I'm the host, Brenna. Nice to meet you. Essentially, we're going to be talking all things 20s. So much happens in your 20s, and we're all on so many different timelines. There's no reason for you to feel behind, not worthy, alone. Those are the worst feelings ever. You are exactly where you're meant to be. Let's talk about it. The title of today's episode is Mistakes. Period, point blank. Mistakes. They happen to everyone every single day. You trip, mistake. You woke up late, mistake. But you're not going to view it that way. You can't view it that way. Because if you viewed everything that didn't go to plan as a mistake and a failure, you would not grow into your potential. You would be this tiny little twerp of a person, so irrelevant, being so like, woe is me. How can you grow into the person that you're meant to be when you're just feeding yourself that shitty energy? How can you do that? You can't. I feel like I've been neglecting this podcast when, honestly, if I'm being completely honest with you guys, life has been lifing. And I'm sure many of you listeners can completely agree. Time has been flying by. If you don't already know, I am in the deep, dark depths of busy season right now. And no, I don't do taxes. I know nothing about taxes. I just am an auditor. So I am in the thick of it. But this is episode 3. I am so happy to be recording this episode. I have a new setup today. We have some dead flowers here. We have some new flowers that I just bought. We have an old candle on the end of its life, and we have a brand new candle with me. So I have a mixture. I also have a really good iced latte here. So I'm pumped. Let's get into it. All of the mistakes that we quote unquote make in different seasons of our life throughout our 20s shape us into who we are in this very, very moment. And they are vital and they are important that we pay attention to them, that we don't view them as failures, but instead view these moments of quote unquote weakness, quote unquote mistake, quote unquote error, imperfection. We use those moments to grow us, build us, make us even better individuals, and not sit in that energy. Okay, guys, you're not going to be perfect. Nobody is perfect. And release any expectation of yourself trying to be this perfect, has it all together, because in reality, I don't care how old you are, you don't have it all together. We're never going to have it all together. And so this week I realized that, like I said before, my job has been so busy to the point where it's not humanly possible to get it all done. We're not built to be robots. We're not built to be people that can accomplish a huge list every single day. You need to give yourself grace. And so this week, I had a moment. I had a breaking point, guys. And that is what this episode is going to start on, my breaking point. Basically, I have been living by this quote that I found in one of my daily devotionals, and it is called, "You do not win on emotion, you win on execution." Okay? And that is a quote that you should all live by. You do not win in any situation being emotional, emotions leading. You win on looking at every single thing for what it actually is, standing back, looking at it, and executing. It sounds like a really intense quote, but I've been living by that. So kind of just wanted to give you that context. So basically, I've been dealing with a lot of tight deadlines, high pressure, lots of expectations, being pulled in different directions for different clients. Everyone considers themselves high priority at my job and wants it done right now for them. But when you're working under 5 or 6 people, I cannot attend to every single person's high demand all at the same time. So in the middle of this week, I had a moment where I've been preaching to myself, if I feel an emotional breakdown entering the brain, like if I feel like I'm feeling emotions, I've been really good at reverting to that quote and being like, no, I don't win on emotion. I win in the situation on execution. And the quote winning means getting through. It doesn't mean I'm first place. It literally means not breaking down in front of my coworkers. And unfortunately, That is exactly what I did. I broke down in front of my coworkers in the middle of this week. I'll explain the story. So, I was on site for a client with my team, and I was in another room attending to a different client at the time. And I came back into my team's room and I was so overwhelmed. And the manager that I was working with, she's super smart. I admire her in a lot of ways, but she was like, when is this going to get done, Brenna? When is that going to get done, Brenna? Do you have an extra 5 hours next week to get this done? I looked at this manager in her face and I put both of my hands over my eyes and I started bawling my eyes out. And I was like, I cannot do this right now. I was like, I'm so overwhelmed. I ran out of the room. Okay, guys, this doesn't happen. It does not happen in a work setting. It should not happen in a work setting, quote unquote, because we're all supposed to be perfect in a work setting. But really, it's a high pressure environment. So I was in a room with about 5 other people, and everyone observed that moment. And I ran out of the room, went into the bathroom, and I literally just splashed water on my face, took 5 minutes, stared at myself in the mirror, and I was like, we're not doing this today. You're better than this. You're stronger than this. I gave myself a pep talk, walked back out, and finished the rest of that day. Honestly, I did a great job after that breakdown moment. Like, I was laughing about it later, and I really ended up achieving what I was given to do. So it ended up working out. But I was very embarrassed because I was like, I showed a moment of weakness. I showed a moment of like, I really didn't have my shit together. I was very, very vulnerable, came out of nowhere, really uncalled for. I don't know these people very well. Well, the next day, that same manager, she messages me and she's like, how are you doing? She's like, forget about anything work. How are you doing as a person? And being asked that question just completely opened my mind to a whole, like, that was the reason for this episode. My moment of vulnerability opened a real conversation with a person that, like, I didn't even think I could get that vulnerable with. So she asked me how I'm doing. She was like, if you need any help at all, reach out. I'm here for you. Like, let me know. 20 minutes after she talked to me, the partner of my firm, who's like well up, calls my cell phone and he's like, Brenna, how are you doing? I've been hearing through the pipeline you had a mental crash out. And I was like, oh my God, this is so embarrassing. But then I was like, wait, people are trying to help me. And my point is, through all of that, yes, I'm still in the thick of it. Yes, I still have a lot to do. Yes, there's still a lot more work to get done and there is overwhelm and pressure. That is all real. But what's also more real than all of those things is that I showed my team evidence that I'm a person, I'm human, I'm not a robot. I can't get all of this done. And so having that mistake, that embarrassing moment is helping me a lot more than I thought it could. And so that goes into every single thing that we do. I think a lot of us are really, really good at like starting something. Like when we just start something and we're like so super excited about it, and then once something gets a little bit hard or inconvenient or challenging or just something that we don't really understand or resonate with, we kind of like take a step back and we're like, wait, I don't like this anymore. But I think we need to view those challenges as, I'm gonna just like try, and like if I make a mistake, it's actually not a mistake, like it's not a failure. And this week, for example, I feel like I've been making mistake after mistake after mistake, but that is shaping me into being okay with that and not being like this like perfect, every single thing needs to be in line type of person. And so I just drank so much coffee. And so in your 20s, if you're actively trying your best at something, if you have a passion that you're newly exploring, if you have a job that you're not perfect at, but you're trying to learn and figure it out, if you have just something that you're working on, keep going at it. Don't stop. Don't stop when you make a mistake. Don't stop when you have a breaking point. Don't stop when you feel overwhelm and anxiety. Work through that. The only way to grow is to get through those experiences. Going around and taking the easy route is not your answer. It never will be your answer. In a corporate setting, especially, you put on your outfit for the day, you go into the office, you sit at your desk, you're this different person in a corporate work setting than you are in your most natural, room setting, and that's like fine. You're a little bit more like perfected in a way, like you're trying to be like a little bit more put together, professional, and so it's really, really easy in a corporate setting to brush off personal and to brush off emotion. And it's like, in a lot of ways, it's good. You need to decipher between emotions and like actually executing. But at the same time, you have no clue what really anyone is going through when all of us are just sitting at our desk, staring at a computer screen, trying to get the job done. And it's like, wait, we're actually all humans. And so I think this past week, my eyes have been very much so opened to that idea of like, wait, my coworkers are all humans. Some of them have kids, some of them have husbands. Everyone has a life behind the scenes that you don't see. You only know them from like 8 to 5. You don't really know them from the rest of the time. And so it's just interesting because you never really know what the people around you are going through. So kind of just being very open and recognizing that you don't know what's going on behind the scenes in anyone's life. I kind of am just basically creating this episode to talk about quote unquote mistakes, quote unquote being wrong, finding challenge, finding failure in your 20s, and not viewing it as a stopping point, but viewing it as the starting point of your growth. That really is what failure and mistakes are, is you being like, oh shoot, I messed up. It's like the world telling you you did that wrong. And it's perfectly fine. I want to encourage you to not feel like you need to just be the best version of yourself all the time, because that's exhausting. You can't do that. No one wants to be around somebody who's constantly trying to be the best. Yeah, I did this today, and then I did this today, and I did that, and then I'm here, and I'm great, and everything's awesome. Like, it really though? Like, is it? Mistakes are not true mistakes. Like, they really aren't. They're really just a turning point, a starting point for a new chapter, for a new growth, for something new to happen in your life that you haven't really thought about doing it that way before. And so with work especially, none of us really are meant to stare at a computer screen and type and call people. Like, none of us are meant to like do those things as human, natural humans, but that's just the world that we live in. And that's the reality. I am not built to stare at an Excel spreadsheet all day, but I am. And that's what I'm doing. And it's making me money. So be it. There's a lot of benefit in making mistakes and changing course. And in our 20s, we change course many, many times. We're constantly changing course. And with that, we really are subconsciously and sometimes consciously making mistakes and having moments where we aren't perfect. And I just encourage you to be vulnerable with yourself and give yourself grace for when you have those moments. And so much with social media, so much with just all of this life that we're living in right now is so status and so built upon all the things that we've accomplished, who we are. We're all talking about finding self-worth and identity and like, oh, I already know what I want to do. Oh, I already found my passion. Oh, I'm making 100K. Once you're able to accept mistakes more into your life and making wrong turns and right turns, you're more able to accept the unknown of the future. You're more able to accept, waking up late one day. You're more able to accept things that are outside of the routine when you start to realize that mistakes are natural and they are needed. One of my good friends is having a conversation tonight. This goes into relationships as well. And relationships, dating relationships, single situationships, all the things. And I would love to talk about all of that. And that's probably an episode coming in the next couple months. But one of my friends, she's been talking to this guy for about 6 months, and they don't have any title, and he hasn't brought it up. And she's like, I'm just gonna bring it up tonight. I'm gonna bring it up and I'm gonna see what he says. And she's super nervous, regardless of literally however that unfolds, even if he's an asshole or whatever. None of it was a mistake. If that relationship ends, it wasn't a mistake. It's not a failure. It's a turning point. It's a starting point. Who are you becoming next? Like, there's just so much that like I think we view as like a mistake. Oh, you got fired? You get fired from, you get laid off from your job? That's not a mistake. That's what's your next career? This is so exciting. Like, what's coming around the corner? It's all perspective. Maybe the career that you're in didn't really turn out the way that you wanted it to. Okay, change course, pivot, act on it, get it done. Don't sit in, oh, this sucks. Like, I'm in the wrong career. Or, oh, this sucks. Like, he left me. He doesn't want to be with me. He doesn't want to date me. I'm not worthy. I'm not good. No, we're not doing that here in life in general. There are so many times where like you try to predict the future and you think something's going to happen. You have like this expectation in your head of something happening this exact way, and then it doesn't happen. And then you're like all messed up and you're like, wait. And it's like you didn't even need to spend any of that time thinking about that even potentially happening. Like, it's just actually crazy. The mind is a crazy place. And once you start to realize, okay, I'm not perfect. Okay, I'm going to start to like actually make mistakes and my mind is not always going to be correct. And being okay with that is powerful. Whatever season you're in right now, you'll figure it out. Like, just have an end goal. I think it's so important that we don't like sit in the sad, bad vibes. Summer 2026, I've been preaching this. Summer 2026 is going to be the best summer ever. And the reason why I say this is because I'm sitting in March. I have like 2 trips planned. I have like barely any plans, but I'm like, no, this is going to be amazing. Why? I don't know. I just know it is. Positive vibes only. I'm sorry. I made a mistake. New starting point, new me, like, let's go. I'm not dealing with this energy, and I refuse to deal with this energy now more so than ever of like negative energy. Like, that is the worst energy you can be sitting in. And so when like you make a mistake or you have a failure, if you start pouring energy into negativity after you had like a failing moment or you made a mistake or you messed up a little bit, you're just giving yourself nothing good. Nothing good is coming from that. So it's all perspective. Every mistake, every event, good and bad things have good and bad perspectives. Do not surround yourself with people that are negative, because I guarantee you they will be bringing you down. They're trying to bring your energy down. Surround yourself with people that bring you up, lighten you up, give you energy, freaking make you an even more positive and much better person. I think the people that are like super negative, like those people scare me, because I'm like, why are you so negative? Like, genuinely. And in your 20s, none of us need negativity, guys. We are literally the earliest decade to be like excited and about life and who knows what we're going to become. Like, having a negative mindset in your 20s is so detrimental to like your future growth, because you're limiting yourself. Why would you limit yourself? It pisses me off, obviously. Jeez. When you make a mistake, when you have a failure, not saying that you're guaranteed that every single day of your life, but it's natural because you're human. And just because you're building yourself doesn't mean that you can't have those moments where you have vulnerability. When those situations happen, it is vital that your mind shifts in that moment more than ever before. Your mind needs to be like, okay, that happened. I see that as fact. That occurred. Now, how am I going to interpret that? How am I going to view that going forward? Am I going to view that as something I'm going to sit in? Am I going to continue to hyper-analyze that exact moment that I fucked up? Or am I going to be like, okay, wait, how can I spin this for growth opportunity instead of limiting, depressing, sadness? Viewing the mistakes that you make through a lens of gratitude and grace is the only way to grow through them. A mistake is a starting point for a new version of you that you haven't even seen before. You are going to fuck up. Things are not going to go to plan. That's life. In your 20s, this is the first big decade of your life where you can choose who you can become. What is your potential? You choose your potential more in this decade of your life than any other time. This is the building block. This is the point where you're young, you're fruitful, you have a pretty blank perspective on things on the future, this is that time in your life where you need to have that perspective on failure as one that is a growth perspective, as one that's full of grace and just complete and utter, like, I'm gonna get through this, I'm gonna forgive myself for making that mistake, and I'm gonna grow. I also kind of realized when I had my crash out in front of my coworkers, I did journal after. I was like, I need to journal. So I journaled and I wrote down, I had like a bar chart visual. I'm a visual learner. And I was like, I'm going to look at where I'm at with everything in my life, like a bar chart. And so my mental health, how good is it? 1 to 10. It was like a 3. And then it was like my job. How good is that doing? And then it was like my friendships. And then it was like my family. And this whole bar chart went from like right to left. There are about 10 different categories. And I was like, how is everything in my life doing? All the things that matter to me, how are they doing? It was like a full self-reflection moment of like, where am I at? Because something within this bar chart contributed to my crash out in front of everyone. And I realized a lot of things were pretty low on the spectrum. So you're going to fuck up. That is the reality of the situation. And that is the gateway to learning and becoming an even better individual. And you are doing yourself such a disservice if you decide to sit in that energy of like, oh my God, I fucked up. If you're going to sit in that moment of like, why did I do that? The best leaders are the people that can show they're actually human and they can connect with anyone, no matter the status, no matter the person, they can connect with you because they see you. The best leaders are the people that really, really see you. And the best leaders too are also the people that learn from their mistakes and want to hear about their mistakes. They aren't the people that are like, get away from me, don't talk about my problems, don't talk about my mistakes, I'm so ashamed. No, they're like, okay, how can I be better? They want to continuously improve. And I just think that's something to keep in mind for yourself. If those are the best leaders, if those are the people that are at the top, or the people that are the most open to change, open to making mistakes, open to having tough conversations, and just like see people for who they are, then try to be like that person. Try to be like that. We're all in different seasons. We're all navigating different things. And so don't try to be this specific person in this specific box. Just be yourself. Just be your most open, honest self, and view the people around you, like truly see the people around you. Truly, when you're having conversation with anyone, look them in the eye, get off your phone, give the person that you're talking to your full fucking attention. I'm over these people that are too busy to have a normal conversation. Put your full energy into conversations and interactions with people, and let people know that they are seen and heard and valued, and everything in your life will just get so much better. When your interactions improve, you will improve as well. So yeah, guys, I don't even know what I talked about, honestly. My throat hurts. I'm so excited to make a fucking mistake. I'm cursing. But yeah, guys, episode 3, making mistakes. I hope you enjoyed it. As always, follow me on Instagram, on TikTok. I am on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and YouTube. Feel free to share this with anyone who you think might resonate with it. And once again, these episodes are going to be posted only monthly for now, but come the summer, which is going to be the best summer ever, summer 2026, I will be able to post these bi-weekly. So thank you all, and have a great rest of your week. You guys are amazing, and feel free to let me know how you like this episode. Thanks, guys.